This is going to be a video that I never really thought I would ever make.
So by now, you've probably heard about some of the controversy surrounding the 2.0 update for 7 Days to Die. And it doesn't matter where you look, players are simply not happy.
One of my biggest problems with 7 Days to Die is the way the devs are committed to destroying variety and creativity.
I decided to title this video "It Takes a Village," and just because it does. And I got to shout out Joe Woodle.
But today we're going to be talking about the state of 7 Days to Die, and I just want to say thank you to Jawoodle for making that video he did yesterday.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This game is straight dog water.
Lately, the community has been very outspoken about the current state of 7 Days to Die. In response to the backlash, the developers held a live town hall to answer questions and address the recent changes. In this video, I'm going to break down the entire situation, from a quick overview of the town hall and its key talking points, including a few missteps, to what I personally liked and didn't like, and finally, first-hand reactions from the community following the stream. Okay, well, since we're talking about this whole enchilada, the first thing we gotta crack into is the name, because Town Hall seems like a very deliberate choice in my opinion to make it appear or imply that this would be a two-way discussion of sorts, as a town hall by definition is an event at which a public official or political candidate addresses an audience by answering questions posed by individual members. And things started off strong, immediately admitting that they were here to talk about what they could do better in 2.0.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the first ever TFP Stream 2.0 Town Hall. We're here tonight to talk about what we could do better with 2.0. We want to thank you all for all the feedback that you've been giving us. And, we wanted to let y'all know that we're listening. The team has been reading feedback from Reddit, forums, social media, influencers, and singled out a number of topics we think we could do better on. 2.0, we tried a few new things, and some of it went well, some of it could be better.
After starting the stream and immediately admitting that they could have done things better for this most recent update, the community had hope. This was the first time ever that the Fun Pimps had admitted fault. Although unspecific, it still was in the right direction. Then they went on to announce several changes being made to controversial features added or changed from 2.0.
So can we make biome progression work with sandbox play? Joel, what do you think?
Here's what we're doing. The biome challenges are going to be changed so that the biomes can be unlocked in any order to promote sandbox gameplay. So you can go straight to the wasteland and go and do that challenge first if that's something you feel like doing.
Let us move on to the next question. So can we make biome progression more immersive and realistic? Let's start with Joel on that one.
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
And why the fuck did you add them?
I didn't think you were going to do it.
This is one of my favorite moments of this entire live stream because even the devs have to make fun of their own choices. It's clear that the Fun Pimps either don't have a quality assurance team at all, or their quality assurance team, just like their partnered YouTubers, are afraid to actually speak their mind out of fear of losing their jobs. Not only have the Fun Pimps cultivated a culture of fear around criticizing their games, but also there have always been rumors about the Fun Pimps banning people from their Discords just for communicating criticism, and they've also not hesitated to remove content creators from their community program just for criticism as well. Moving on, here's one of the most critical moments of the stream where the Fun Pimps talk about how they're going to change the heavily criticized biome progression and badges system.
So what we're going to do is badges are going to be changed to various survival kits to have a more immersive theme, and they will include different themes of personal protective equipment. But the general idea right now is, smoke survival kit for the burnt forest, you're going to have a firefighter respirator, and that'll be an actual item you equip onto your avatar into the character menu, or you could probably drop it onto your character and it'll go into it. It'll just be an icon. It won't be a physical thing you see, but you're going to actually have an item that you craft and place on your character to combat the smoke effect. And an interesting gameplay element there is, when you die, that's going to be removed from your character and you won't have immunity to that biome anymore. So getting your stuff back, you might be prepared by having a smoothie, which is going to be changed to another item. We'll get to that. Or a backup firefighter respirator, on your motorcycle. So preparation will be rewarded.
Also allow you to craft one for your friend who joins so that he wouldn't have to go through the biome immunity challenge himself if he didn't want to. So you can keep your playing with your friends better.
You'll craft a heat survival kit, and it'll look like something like a bandana and a hat and sunglasses, and that'll negate the ambient heat hazard found throughout the desert biome. None of these will protect you against the storms, but they will give you protection against the default biome negative effects. Cold survival kit It's kind of like one of them full balaclava, I guess you call it. I don't know how to pronounce it even, but one of them winter masks and some snow goggles. And then we'll have a radiation survival kit, and that's going to look like a biohazard mask with filters. And then the player model will not show any of these items, but you'll have an icon and the description of it, and it'll be an object that you craft. The new biome survival kits will become craftable unlocks. I guess Rick just covered that. I'm just going through the notes here, make sure we don't miss nothing.
So like I said, I mean, there's really not that much to show everybody. It's a very work in progress, but you can see all 4 are here. You'll be able to take them out now and put them back in. Obviously, they will not have these icons. They will not be badges anymore, but you will have a crafting recipe for them when you unlock them. So,
yep.
Anyway.
So no more going to the trader. You can just craft one and you're unlocked.
Yes.
Bruh. This change was so obvious that the community did it. How long ago? Almost a month ago before they proposed this change. And I guarantee you that if there wasn't so much backlash from so many large YouTubers and content creators, that we'd still, to this day, and maybe even up until the 4.0 update, until the full release of this game, because although the game's already had a 1.0 release, it is definitely not a finished product, and they don't have a good portion of the stuff that they've promised from their Kickstarter. We would still have these ridiculous biome badges if it wasn't for the community getting upset enough to change the review status on their Steam page for the first time ever. I don't even think this was done back when the system was changed from learn by doing to magazines. I don't even think this was done then, even though people absolutely hated that shit. Maybe it was. I wasn't as into the game back then. Yo, Editor Liam here, and I just checked, and apparently this also happened before the review status dipped down to medium or mixed. The review status dipped down to mixed. Also, when the developers removed looting every zombie, back when you were able to loot every zombie that died, and they removed that. That's the last time that the status is dropped down to mixed. So this would be a cool statement. That would have been a cool statement if it was true, but unfortunately, it has happened before. They have been fucking up for quite a long time. So this is not the first time that they have been on mixed review status on Steam. Unfortunately. Well, maybe fortunately. Wait, no. Never mind. But even with the release of that shitty ass system, people still saw some sort of light at the end of the tunnel. They saw, hey, it's new content. There's a lot of it's a new way to play the game at least. Okay, maybe we should give it a shot before we dog on it. But this is entirely different. So many shitty decisions have been piling up for such a long time that the camel's back has finally broke.
Just so you know, when we're reacting to feedback and we're changing our production plan, we are effectively delaying bandits, just so you know. So when you request a lot of stuff and you come in numbers and you ask for it and we say, all right, we're listening, we're going to do this, that costs us time.
Okay, enough of that little mini rant. I'm gonna get back to the overview. And the next thing the devs announced in their town hall was the changes they're making to the magical smoothies they added for biome progression.
But let's move on to the next thing. Can you create something more immersive than smoothies and give them a later game use?
Joel then announced how they decided to reskin the 4 biome smoothies into much more grounded items instead of magical smoothies. And they also announced adjustments to the storm system to halfway add back old survival mechanics, and the next major announcement was model changes to the Plague Spitter and the Yeti zombies.
Can you make the new enemies fit better into the 7 Days lore?
Yes, we've already started on that, and we're modifying the Plague Spitter to fit our kind of central Arizona lore with a Native American looking Indian. And if you guys haven't noticed, a lot of our bandits are Native American, so it's really going to tie in well with the fact that there's a lot of bandits.
The game is set in central Arizona where there's the Apache, so we're pulling it back into that lore.
So we've got a new model for him. I don't know.
I'm showing it.
You're showing it right now.
Saying it. Yeah.
And then we're also doing the Frost Claw to kind of look more like a lumberjack or like a mountain climbing mountain man badass guy. I don't know if we're showing him today yet or not, but
we're not showing him quite yet. But
he's still we're working on him. I don't want to show him and then have him change and everybody go. Oh.
Then, as the devs bring up the next topic, one clearly tied to the ongoing community demand for the return of action skills and other older mechanics, they awkwardly acknowledge the subject without directly mentioning action skills or anything concrete. Instead, they quickly pivot to discussing a new third-person feature.
That is all. Okay, so next. Let's see. So, actually, Rick, do you want to talk about this part? I mean, this is kind of go ahead.
We've got a number of topics beyond 2.0 that could cover some things people have wanted some previous, some requests recently. It could get into a little bit of stuff that's like, earlier builds that, we thought we'd bring back. Or so the first thing, in this, we've been working on a third-person camera for a while, and we wanted this option to play the game.
Now, why is this a problem? While third person is a welcome addition, this moment felt like a clear bait and switch. The conversation was naturally leading into one of the most highly requested features, action skills, only for the devs to dodge it and for it to shift into a feature that seems more aligned with Blood Moons, their upcoming spin-off title that shares the same engine but has a separate dev team.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money!
After that, they moved on to announce several other additions like expanded game and sandbox customization options, legendary weapon variants with rare spawns similar to Fallout 4, a toggle between sandbox and story modes which ties into the new customization systems I mentioned from before, and new passive production stations like an apiary for honey, an electric stove for faster cooking, and a chicken coop for passive eggs and feathers. Finally, they revealed the new quest type coming in version 3.0 where you can plant chargers in a bandit facility and blow it up, alongside a much needed destruction system overhaul that lets buildings collapse in chunks instead of taking what feels like 10 years for a single tower to collapse. After this is out, no more do you have to wait one by one for each block to individually fall off. They'll just come off in chunks, making things a lot quicker when you collapse the structure. Well, that was pretty much everything significant mentioned, besides a few small changes like reducing the spawn rate of the new biome zombies. After finishing off all the pre-decided talking points, the devs then ended the stream without even reading any questions live, and the questions they did read were ones that were already answered or weren't new.
No, if it's just gonna be them spamming questions. I'm looking at it and I can't get one question out.
Now, let's talk about what was good and what was bad about the stream in my opinion. First, let's get into the good. The new plague spitter model and the fixes they made to the special zombies were actually great. I really liked how they tied it into the lore of the dude. The changes they were making to storms, including adding back some parts of the old survival systems that we had before, was a much needed improvement. Very nice. The idea for legendary weapons is also awesome, and it should add some stuff to do in the late game, like shiny hunting and rare drop hunting. And the third person mode they teased was pretty cool too. It'll be nice not to have to go into dev mode to use third person anymore, and the way that it smoothly follows you is well done. And obviously, the biome progression and smoothie fixes were common sense and are very much needed and welcome change. Okay, and now we're gonna get into the shit. When they did admit there were things they could have done better, it was very avoidant. They didn't mention anything in specific and kind of just brushed past it. It reminded me of a certain pirate
You have
software.
a boss in you called run.
These two are lumped together. So 3.0 getting effectively delayed, and Rick's, since you don't like what we fucked up on, we're gonna punish you type attitude.
Just so you know, when we're reacting to feedback and we're changing our production plan, we are effectively delaying bandits. Just so you know.
I mean, do I even have to explain? Well, this is the internet, so I'm sure there's gonna be some comment. Actually, they were just telling the truth. So instead of doing an entire breakdown of why the statement Richard made was stupid myself, here's a few cut segments from a full breakdown that IzPrebuilt did on this subject.
Now, the problem with that clip and the thing that the community has kind of been criticizing the devs for, Rick essentially shifts the blame of the bandit delay onto the players for essentially not being happy with 2.0 and daring to talk about it. And in that last video, I mentioned how he was objectively just incorrect and that it was our fault. And I saw a few people that actually disagreed with that, arguing that he was just being literal in the sense that these changes will delay bandits. And that is true, but the problem here is clearly the blame shifting, and the purpose of this video is to point out exactly how the blame lies solely in the Fun Pimp's hands. The correct thing Rick should have said was a very simple, hey, sorry we made these changes and you didn't like them, now we have to fix them and this will unfortunately delay bandits. Do you see how they take accountability for their mistake in that, rather than blaming us for voicing our displeasure with some really shitty features? Bandits are not delayed because the players complained that they didn't like 2.0. Bandits are delayed because the Fun Pimps failed to deliver an update the fans liked. Do you see how that simple rewording completely puts the blame where it actually belongs? The people who made the bad features are the problem, not the people who voiced their displeasure with them. But let's elaborate a little bit more. Why precisely can we be sure that it's the Fun Pimp's fault and not some mass hysteria from the fans, as if that isn't a silly idea to begin with? Well, quite simply, the Fun Pimp's entire reason for existence is to deliver the game we want. Now, to the uninitiated, that might sound rather entitled, or you might think, no, their job is to make profit and things like that, and I would forgive you for thinking that from the outside looking in at a first glance, but allow me to explain why that is not the case. This game is not a hobbyist labour of love. It is not a case of the Fun Pimps being a development studio who decided to make a game that they wanted to make, and they started making it and let us in on the fun. No, the Fun Pimps in 7 Days to Die simply do not exist without the fans. This is not a self-funded game, i.e. it's not coming out of the developers' pockets. This is not a corporate-funded game, i.e. Microsoft hasn't given them a budget to do what they want with, or there isn't shareholders who they need to keep satisfied with certain profit margins. The game is made by the devs for the players and is funded directly by the fans. Directly. This game is only funded by 3 things as far as any of us are aware. Sales of the game, money from the original Kickstarter, and merchandise sales. All of which come pretty much directly from fan to dev. My point is, the fundamental truth is that players cannot be blamed for a delay when the entire reason your company even exists is from direct fan funding. No corporate overlords was exactly what you wanted and you got it. The cost is delivering a 7 Days to Die that the fans who funded you into existence actually like. So never in any situation can the fans be blamed for a delay or problem in this game, because we're the people you're supposed to be making the game for. At some point, you got it in your head that this was actually your game and you could do what you want with it. And in a sense, that's factually true. There is nothing we can directly do to stop you. However, if you want your studio to exist after 7 Days to Die, you'd better make sure there's a community with enough goodwill left to buy your next game. And let me ask you, do you think that alienating, ignoring, and shifting blame onto people is a good way to get a second round of money out of them after what? Presumably 14 to 15 years of development on one game? I don't think it is, Joel and Rick. I think you're being short-sighted. For a 15-year development cycle, which is what I'm guessing it's actually going to take, you had better make sure the game you deliver is excellent if you want people to join in on the next one, and you're not doing that.
And while the legendary weapon variants are a welcome addition, I don't think that's a good way to respond to the issue of weapon variety, which is the reason why they brought up legendary weapons in the first place. The reason why I say this is because it doesn't actually add any new weapons. It just gives more luck-based late game progression options for weapons and models that are already in the game. They basically confirmed in the stream that they don't plan to add any new weapon models anytime soon besides a few legendary variants of pre-existing weapons. Third person is very easy to implement in programming, especially because they already have a rudimentary third person mode that you can activate right now through the dev console that's been there for years. I highly doubt they spent very long on this, and it's especially interesting and convenient that they are suddenly focusing effort on the third person as soon as 7 Days Blood Moons gets announced. Oh, and here we go. The Fun Pimps were not only deliberately ignoring questions in their live stream chat while they were doing the town hall, acting like they couldn't literally just scroll up to stop chat from moving at all, but as I was looking through their VOD of the rerun that they had of their town hall stream, I noticed that Lathan, or Lathan, I don't know how you pronounce his name, the senior developer that was present in the town hall, was active in the chat of the rerun and was actually answering questions for once. Damn, what a nice guy. Stopping by just to answer questions. Sorry, little guppy. Watch the VOD. Watch the VOD, buddy. I can't help you. I don't know anything. I don't develop this game. Yeah, the devs were for some reason extremely dedicated to dodging every question, even when they came by and had the spare time. Especially the people asking for jars and action skills. Oh, but they were happy to answer any questions for anything that they had already discussed or talked about in the past, of course. And of course, the best thing to do when you're trying to communicate to your community that you're not turning into a sellout after releasing overpriced DLC and announcing a spin-off while your main game still isn't feature complete after almost 2 decades of development is to show them a shirt.
Yeah. I'm going to spoil something a little bit right now.
Oh, crap.
But don't worry. If you've been paying attention to the shirt I'm wearing, these shirts, a limited edition, will be coming to our merch store soon. This is the Mo Power shirt. It's got logos on the back.
Money!
I think that this comment sums them up perfectly. These guys are absolutely the most tone-deaf development team I've seen in a very long time. Alright, so now we've been through the general overview of the town hall and all my thoughts. Before we end this video, I'm going to hand the torch off to some of the more prominent members of the 7 Days to Die community who also have a few things to say about the dev stream. These are all going to be live reactions, and I'll have links to the channels of the creators in the description below. I highly recommend you check out their 7 Days to Die content. It is awesome.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Whoa. I really didn't like when Rick said, hey, just to let you guys know, we have to delay bandits because you guys are asking for all of this stuff. Like, what? What was that? I'm sorry. Like, bandits is already delayed. We have no idea when we're getting bandits. And sorry, we asked for things that should be in the game. Like, what was that? That was kind of a little shot across the bow to the community a little bit. I'm not trying to dog on Rick. I just really didn't like that comment. It was kind of like, well, I guess since you guys are asking for all this stuff, we're going to have to delay bandits. Bro, bandits was already delayed. I didn't like that at all. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry, Kitten Ree. We have to stop asking for things, guys, because we're never going to get the things we want in the game if we keep asking for things. If you guys heard Rick say that, we need to stop asking for things. So everybody, stop. Just stop asking for things. And then maybe we'll get bandits by 2032. But you guys have to stop asking for things. I can't, dude. I'm sorry. That is so out of touch, man. That was... They basically said, we went a direction, it didn't work, so we're going to fix some things. Fix some things or Band-Aids? What do you guys, how do you guys feel? Is this fixing things or is this more Band-Aids? Yeah, I'm worried that they're just saying this to get out in front of PR and try to get their ratings back up. Not that anybody's going to run to Steam and give them a better rating now because they did this, but maybe they're trying to curve some of that. Like they're worried about some of the players leaving to go play other games now. Maybe something like that. I worry is like, I hope that their heart is still in this game. And I've said this before, if their heart is not in the game anymore, then sell it. They can probably sell this IP for millions of dollars to a bigger company. I mean, just throw a couple names out there like Sony, Microsoft, whoever's independent now. I'm just saying, and I'm not calling on the Fun Pips to sell this game. I am not doing that. I'm just saying, if their heart is not in it anymore, and their heart is in other games now that they're working on, that's fine. That's okay. Just sell it. Like, I mean, Latham was like, we're not reading chat. We can't do this. Well, then just slow down chat and just pick out a comment here or there. Like, why can't you do that? I don't know. I don't get it. Like, they did not want to read chat. I'm sure they didn't. I think Latham knew that. I think Latham knew they did not want to slow down chat. Again, I really didn't like Rick's comment. We have to delay bandits because you guys keep asking for things. Yeah, I didn't like that a lot. That really, you want to talk about building a wall between you and the community, a wall that's already there. You're just putting more bricks on top of the wall and making it taller and making it thicker. Those are the comments that do that kind of stuff. You know, it's called feedback for a reason. Like Retail Sales 101 tells you, and I think John Woodle mentioned this too. John Woodle's video was great, by the way. Customers are always right. I mean, you don't have, unless you have a way of generating money through 7 Days to Die, somehow, what did Squatchy say? Nothing was guaranteed. I mean, the only way you get money is people buying your game and buying your DLC. So, and the way you sell more copies is by listening to feedback and making the game what people want. You don't make it what you want and force people to buy it. You've seen that over and over with different games over the years. So saying we're not going to give you what you want in the end because of your feedback, like, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that.
Absolutely 100% a Darkness Falls update is what they're talking about. They went in on the whole, we're going to add a stove and we're going to add a beehive and a chicken coop so you can get eggs and feathers. And it's like, dude, when I started in Alpha 19 and the first time I played Darkness Falls, I was like, why isn't this in the main game? Like, why the fuck is this not in the main game? And I played in Alpha 19. It's been since Alpha 19, and they're just now saying, oh yeah, well, maybe we should add that. So here you go. A working sink that you can fill your jars at. a working oven that if you put a battery and an improved heating element in, you can make apple pie and bacon and egg sandwiches, and that's an oven. And then you've got an empty beehive that you can, oh shit, you can't stack those apparently. I didn't realize that. So you've got this beehive that you put a little bit of shit in and you get honey out of it. Then you've got chicken coops. And then you've got animal snares, which give you animal fat and meat and leather. So everything they just talked about is in Darkness Falls already. Just saying. We're excited to steal ideas and sell you ugly merch. I love how they fucking gaslit us, man. I love how they fucking they were doing so well the entire stream, and then at the very end they pulled this, well, if you keep complaining, it's just gonna delay bandits even more. Like, dude, you have 60 fucking people. You brag. You the last dev stream, you sat there with your fucking finger in the air and your glass of fucking Dom Perignon laughing at everybody and told us that, yeah, bandits, yeah, it's no problem. Yeah, it's no problem. But then when we bitch at you for taking a gamble and releasing a fucking update that's just crap, dude, that clearly nobody's gonna want, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't fit the narrative, that removes the sandbox from the sandbox. I mean, how are you gonna sit there and oh man, yeah, that made me mad, dude. How are you gonna sit there and blame it on us that you can't figure out how to do it? It's just I don't know, man. Like why would they try to fucking blame the lack of bandits on us? You know what I mean? Like what the fuck do we have to do with their development? Obviously nothing until now. And you know what it took? It took multiple fucking content creators saying multiple negative things about them, and then everybody else in the comment sections, all the comment sections, this doesn't make sense, this is bullshit, this is not a sandbox anymore. So they listened to all that and they reluctantly did something about it. That's okay. That's fine. I expect them to fuck up again in the future, in the very near future, as a matter of fact. So bandits did not take 9 years. I mean, I could show you bandits right now. You guys want to see bandits right now? Fine. I got Alpha 16. I can go show you bandits right this second. If not for the modders, this game would have died a long time ago for me. Not for just you, for everybody. I won't play 2.0 until they do all these things. I mean, I might play 2.0 just for like content things, but no. Yeah, no. There they are. Bandits in the game. Alpha 16, 2017. There they are. Just chilling. Bandit melee, bandit range, survivor ranged. Here's some zombies too. Like, it throws errors and shit, but they even have voices. They've been in development. They've been in development for fucking 11 years. So basically they've removed all of these fucking things and now they're adding it back is what they're doing. Never underestimate the ability of the fun fans to ruin a good idea. I don't know why, but that's how it's been. One step forward, two steps back the whole time. It's true, man. It's been like that. It really has been like that. Now, what I really want them to fucking address is, I feel like for the past 4 years, they've drank too much of the fucking Kool-Aid, man. And they've just like honed in on content creators and yeah, they've honed in on content creators and do a playthrough and see what needs to happen. You know what I mean? Like, literally on day one, I can make a steel sledgehammer, but I got to get the steel, and I got to get the crucible, and to get the crucible, I got to do I gotta make the forge, and to make the forge, I gotta cut down these trees, and I gotta get this clay and get this log. Just fucking get rid of all of it, man. Blame Jawoodle. Man, they have their fucking tongues in Jawoodle's ass so fucking far, it actually makes me fucking sick. You know how bad it really is, dude? Jawoodle will talk shit to Fubar Prime and be like, why the fuck do you get to do the dev stream? So you can hold on to your partnership with Twitch? And I'm like, God damn, dude, they're talking mad shit, and they take it, and I'm over here like sweating when I say something. I mean, I want to say a lot of things, I want to just be like, fuck you guys, you don't fucking get it. They've been assholes to loyal player base for nearly a decade. Yeah. You know what the fun pimps are? The fun pimps are that local town, that local small town guy that went ahead and bought himself a little pub, like a little bar, and said, I'm gonna get rid of the riffraff, but didn't realize that the riffraff was the only thing that pays the bills. And I think that with these negative reviews, they realize that, oh shit, like content creators have.
Well, I'm not going to make some statement like 7 Days to Die is going to be dying or the devs are killing their game. I mean, maybe they are in the long term, but honestly, the modders are so good and so passionate in this community that I think it's going to stay alive for a very, very long time, even after the devs stop supporting it. And honestly, they've been doing the bulk of the support in the community for quite a while now. I mean, who's hyped for... I feel like most of the community is hyped for mods getting updated rather than updates at this point. So yeah, at the end of the day, calling this a town hall was honestly just a PR move. It wasn't a conversation, it was a lecture. And the devs came in with pre-approved talking points, avoided addressing the most requested features like action skills and jars, and then dipped before taking in any real life questions. Sure, we got some decent updates, Plague Spitter rework, Storm Changes, legendary variants, but most of it either felt like half measures or distractions. And with all their weird moves lately, it's like they're trying to keep one foot in community goodwill while the other is already walking towards their next cash grab. And look, criticism like this doesn't come from hate, it comes from people who care. This game has been in development for over a decade, and we know how good it could be. But if the devs keep dodging feedback, selling merch mid-apology, and shoving spin-offs in our faces while the core game is still incomplete, then they're going to keep losing the community that made this game what it was in the first place. Alright, I've said my piece. Alright, well that's it for my recap and review of the situation. I know this is a very critical video, and that's because I'm an asshole, but also because this game is awesome, and the community and I have extremely passionate feelings about it. And we truly know that it can be so much more than what it will be if the developers keep following the direction they're going right now. Once again, please check out some of the creators who I featured in this video. They make awesome 7 days content. Links to all their channels will be in the descriptions below. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and if you're interested in more 7 Days to Die content, I'm considering making a 100 days video on Ravenhearst when that mod updates to 2.0 in the coming weeks, and I might also make other 7 days content this video does well, so who knows. Anyways, my name is Liam, have a great rest of your day, and see you next time. Peace out. Oh yeah, and 0% of you guys are subscribed, so subscribe or else this guy will be in your room at 3 AM tonight.